Welcome to another deep dive with your host, 11 Goddess. Whether you're a returning book lover or first time visitor, thank you for joining me here in the Goddess Garden. This is a safe space for stories that transport us, challenge us, and sometimes even leave us utterly enchanted. Today, we're stepping into a world that's as vibrant as it is magical. Welcome to 1920s Cairo, reimagined through the brilliant mind of P. Djèlí Clark. If you haven't already experienced Clark's works, because this was a new artist, shouldn't call him an artist, this was a new author and a new writing style for me. So I really didn't know what to expect. But let me tell you, you're in for an absolute treat. His writing is like an intricate tapestry, especially when you've never been exposed to it. It's rich, it's layered, and alive with history, myth, and culture. With The Master of Djinn, which is the book we're going to be reviewing today, Clark seamlessly blends steampunk elements with Egyptian folklore, crafting a world where ancient magic meets modern ingenuity. Now, personally, I was so thrilled to be diving into this universe for the first time. I'm someone who's always eager to learn about different cultures and histories. The great thing about books is you can absolutely travel the world. And Clark's vision of Cairo is not just a setting, it's a character in its own right. Gosh, it was just brilliant for the mind. His work feels like an invitation to explore a crossroads of tradition and innovation, where the grandeur of the past dances with the possibilities of the future. That is such a recurring theme throughout this. It is dancing. Wow, this is such a great work. I can't wait to get into it. But now let's talk a little bit about the Jinn. These mythical beings are deeply rooted in Middle Eastern and North African lore, and they hold a fascinating place in Cairo's cultural imagination. Whether as benevolent guardians, mischievous tricksters, or even fearsome adversaries, the Jinn are much more than mere legends. They are part of the collective consciousness. In this story, they've returned to the modern world, reshaping society in profound and unexpected ways. For those of us stepping into this lore for the first time, I promise you, this isn't just about magic or mystery. It's about examining identity, power, and the forces that shape the world we live in. And it has some very interesting parallels to the world we live in and the world that this wonderful story brings to life. We'll start with a deep dive, as always, and return with my personal perspective. Our chat squad today is a duet review from our host of presenters. So grab yourself some tea, some coffee, maybe a sweet mint lemonade, or put one in the air. Do what you got to do and settle in as we unravel the brilliance of A Master of Jinn, narrated by the talented Suehyla El-Attar. I can't wait to share my thoughts, hear yours, and as always, get lost in the magic of the story. So let's dive into the story, shall we, friends?
Welcome in, everyone. Ready to dive into P. Clark's A Master of Djinn.
Always ready for a good story, especially with a guide.
And what a guide we have. We're diving into this incredible world with the help of this audiobook review. And let me tell you, Suehyla El-Attar's narration is just chef's kiss. It's like she breathes life into every word.
Oh, absolutely. And what a world it is. Clark's Cairo is like nothing you've ever encountered. Picture 1912, but not the one you read about in history books.
Right. No colonialism here. This is Egypt as a global superpower, all thanks to a boom in magical innovation. But we're not talking about your everyday illusions and sleight of hand.
Definitely not. We're
Yeah.
talking full-on Djinn integration. Imagine bustling Cairo streets, markets overflowing with magical artifacts right alongside cutting-edge clockwork contraptions. It's that mind-blowing fusion of ancient magic and steampunk advancement that makes Clark's world building so captivating.
It really makes you wonder, what would our world look like if magic was the driving force behind our technology? Flying cars, maybe.
Maybe even something beyond our wildest imaginations. But to understand this world, we have to understand the catalyst, the one who made this magical renaissance possible. Enter Al-Jahiz, a historical figure who, in Clark's world, bridged the gap between the magical and mundane.
He completely rewrote history with that one act. It's fascinating to think Egypt, once under colonial rule, now at the forefront of a new world order, all because of magic.
And with great power comes a whole lot of tension. Anxieties run high, ambitions clash, and the potential for exploitation, Well, that's a whole other layer of complexity that Clark doesn't shy away from. It's this intricate dance between progress and chaos that sets the stage for this incredible story.
And leading the charge through this world of Djinn, intrigue, and ancient secrets is none other than our protagonist, Fatma El-Sharawi.
Oh, Fatma. She's not your run-of-the-mill detective, is she?
Not at all. Imagine like Sherlock Holmes's sharp mind dropped right into the heart of 1912 Cairo, but with a touch of magic and style that's all her own.
And what style? Those tailored suits. Iconic. Fatma's a trailblazer, defying expectations left and right in a field dominated by men. She's a fashion icon, a brilliant detective, and she doesn't let anyone forget it.
She has to be on top of her game to survive in this world, surrounded by Djinn, political maneuvering, and ancient magic. It's impressive, really. But she's not alone in this world, is she? Tell us about the other characters who populate Fatma's Cairo.
Well, there's Hadia, Fatma's newly assigned partner at the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities.
Wow, even the name of the ministry is amazing. You know you're in for a wild ride when government bureaucracy gets a magical makeover.
It really highlights how deeply intertwined magic is in their everyday lives. And for Hadia, a young woman eager to prove herself, working alongside someone as brilliant as Fatma comes with its own set of challenges, you know?
How absolutely. Imagine the pressure of proving yourself in a world where magic is real and you're partnered with a legend.
Exactly. And then we have Siti, Fatma's lover. Talk about an enigma wrapped in a riddle shrouded in mystery.
Oh yes, Siti. Her connection to this secretive religious cult is so intriguing. What can you tell us about them? They seem to be operating on a whole other level.
That they are. This is where things get really interesting. Whispers of ancient Egyptian gods, forbidden magic, a power hidden even from those who wield magic openly. Siti's connection to them adds a whole other layer to Fatma's world, blurring the lines between her personal life and the mystery she's investigating.
It makes you wonder, in a world where ancient beings and modern-day anxieties collide, who can you really trust? Especially with characters like Lord Alistair Worthington lurking about.
Ah, Worthington. Now, he's a character who embodies that Western fascination with, let's be honest, the potential to exploit Egypt's power. He's a British aristocrat drawn to Egypt's magic, representing those who want to control what they don't fully understand.
He's like the embodiment of the clash between tradition and progress, between wanting to understand and wanting to possess. But things get really real when a prominent figure connected to a secret society dedicated to Al-Jahiz, you know, the guy who brought magic back, turns up dead.
Murder in a world of magic.
Yeah.
That's how you kick off a story. But this isn't just any murder, is it?
No, not at all. The plot thickens before we even know there's a plot. It's like Clark was just toying with us, setting the stage for something even bigger.
Exactly, and trust me, it gets bigger.
Okay, I'm hooked. So we've got Djinn, political intrigue, murder, a secret society. What could possibly make this even more complicated?
Well, remember that murdered individual, the one connected to the secret society dedicated to Al-Jahiz.
How can I forget? It's like finding a clue that leads to another clue, which then explodes into a whole other level of mystery.
Well, hold on to your hats, my friend, because during the investigation, Fatma comes face to face with someone claiming to be,
Yeah.
wait for it, Al-Jahiz himself, back from the dead.
Whoa, 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 hold the phone. Al-Jahiz, the architect of this new magical world order, back from the dead. This is insane.
Insane in the best way possible. I mean, talk about throwing a wrench in the works, right?
Yeah.
This is a society built on the legacy of Al-Jahiz, his ability to bridge the gap between the magical and the mundane. For him to just reappear, it's bound to send shockwaves through this world.
It's like someone just pulled the rug out from under everyone's feet. All bets are off. But this Al-Jahiz, if it even is him, he's got to be connected to that secret society, right?
It's the question that keeps Fatma up at night. Is this the real Al-Jahiz, an imposter? And what are the society's true motives? They're like phantoms lurking in the shadows, their goals as elusive as a djinn's whisper. The deeper Fatma digs, the more she realizes this case might expose a conspiracy far bigger than she ever imagined.
Oh man, it's like layers upon layers of mystery. But how do you even begin to unravel a mystery where the very fabric of reality seems to be in question? It's magic. Anything is possible.
That's the beauty and the challenge of it all. Fatima, sharp as a whip, known for her intellect, her ability to piece together clues and decipher ancient texts. She's really got her work cut out for her with this case. This one shakes her to her core.
Especially since she can't just call in a forensics team. Not when you're dealing with Djinn and ancient curses.
Yeah.
This is where it gets interesting, right? Where the lines between fantasy and reality blur.
Absolutely. Clark masterfully blends those classic detective elements with this fantastical magic-infused world. One minute, Fatma's poring over ancient text. The next, she's chasing down rogue Djinn through the vibrant, magically infused streets of Cairo.
All while rocking those amazing tailored suits.
Of course.
Oh.
Never underestimate the power of a good outfit, especially when you're challenging societal norms and taking down magical conspiracies. But as Fatma dives deeper, she realizes this whole Al-Jahiz situation has stirred up a hornet's nest of anxieties.
Makes sense, right? I mean, we talked about those underlying tensions, the whole fear of exploitation that came with Egypt's rise to power. It's like this event, this supposed return, it's ripped open old wounds, exposed the cracks in this new world order.
Precisely. And it's in those cracks, those moments of uncertainty, where the real story unfolds. This is no longer just about solving a murder. It's about understanding what it all means. What does this mean for Egypt, for the balance of global power? What does this mean for magic itself?
It's like Clark is holding up a mirror to our own world, asking us to consider the implications of unchecked ambition, of the delicate dance between progress and tradition.
And he does it all without sacrificing an ounce of suspense. Trust me, as Fatma uncovers this generations-old conspiracy, you'll be flipping pages faster than a djinn disappears in a puff of smoke.
Okay, you've got to give me something here. Conspiracy. Spill the tea.
Let's just say this. This Al-Jahiz imposter, they're not just some wannabe magician playing dress-up. This is someone with power, real power. We're talking commanding djinn like it's nothing, wielding magic that makes even the most seasoned sorcerers nervous.
This isn't just about pretending to be someone powerful. This is about wielding that power to reshape the world. The stakes just shot through the roof.
And those stakes get even higher as this imposter starts amassing followers. They preach a return to a golden age of magic, with Egypt back at the helm, a beacon of ancient might.
It's like that old saying, right? Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Exactly. And Fatma, she sees the danger in all of this. She knows this promise of a glorious past is a dangerous illusion. It's up to her to expose the truth.
But how can she possibly stand against someone who commands djinn like puppets? Those are beings of immense power.
But you see, that's where Fatma's true strength lies. She may not have overwhelming magical might, but she's clever, resourceful, and she understands that sometimes the greatest weapon is knowledge.
It's about strategy, about outsmarting your opponent, using their strengths against them.
Exactly. But more importantly, Fatma has something even more powerful. Conviction. An unwavering belief in justice. She's fighting for what's right, for those who can't fight for themselves. She's not just a detective, she's a protector.
A true hero in a world that desperately needs one. But even heroes need help, right? She can't possibly do this alone. So who does she turn to? Give us the inside skip.
All right. As much as I love a good cliffhanger, I'll spill a few more secrets. Let's just say Fatma realizes she can't win this fight alone. She needs allies, people who understand the intricacies of this world.
People who speak the language of magic, who can navigate the hidden currents of power in Cairo.
Exactly. And as she assembles this team, we get to explore even more of Clark's world. Secret societies, ancient relics, markets brimming with magical artifacts, hidden temples devoted to forgotten gods.
It's like stepping into a dream, a tapestry woven from history, magic, and imagination.
And even with all that, Clark never loses sight of the human element. At its heart, a master of Djinn is about the choices we make, the things we're willing to fight for.
The idea that even in a world filled with magic, it's the strength of the human spirit that truly matters.
Beautifully put. But the question remains, with all this talk of djinn and magical conspiracies, is there a message for those of us living in a world where magic is confined to fairy tales?
That's what I want to know. Does this fantastical story have anything to say about our own reality?
Oh, absolutely. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
I'm all ears.
Well, I think Clark wants us to see that even in a world transformed by magic, the same old problems still exist. Colonialism, inequality, the abuse of power. It's all there, just with a magical twist.
So it's like he's saying that no matter how much our world changes, some things never do.
Exactly. But the hopeful part is he shows us that even in the face of those challenges, there's always a fight for a better future. Fatma's fight against those who would exploit magic for their own gain, that's a reflection of the struggles we face in our own world, right?
It's like a reminder that we always have a choice to either be part of the problem or part of the solution.
And that choice, that's what makes this story so powerful, so relevant. And, Clark doesn't just hit you over the head with these themes. He weaves them into the narrative so skillfully that you're swept up in the mystery and the action while also contemplating these bigger ideas.
It's like he's found that sweet spot between entertainment and social commentary. But let's be honest, he also knows how to craft a darn good story.
Oh, absolutely. The critical acclaim A Master of Djinn has garnered speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Nebula, Hugo, Locus Award recognition. This is a story that has resonated with readers and critics alike, and for good reason.
It sounds like PJ Clark has knocked it out of the park with this one. But before we wrap up, I have to circle back to that question posed at the end of the review. If you could ask a Djinn for one piece of knowledge, what would it be?
Ah, yes, the million-dollar question. It's funny, isn't it, how a story can spark such profound questions, leaving us pondering long after we've finished the last page.
It's a testament to Clark's talent, for sure. He's created a world so captivating that we can't help but want to explore every nook and cranny, even if it means confronting some uncomfortable truths along the way.
Exactly. And that question about the Djinn, it really gets to the heart of what we value, what we yearn for. Would we use that knowledge for personal gain or for the greater good?
It's a question worth pondering, and maybe one that reveals as much about ourselves as it does about the power of stories like A Master of Djinn.
Well said. Because ultimately, that's what good stories do, right? They transport us, they make us think, they stay with us long after we've turned that final page.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think it's time for us to bid farewell to the magical streets of Cairo, at least for now. But remember, the exploration doesn't have to end here. If you're looking for a story that will transport you to another world, spark your imagination, and leave you with plenty to ponder, then A Master of Djinn is waiting for you.
And who knows? Maybe someday you'll encounter a Djinn of your own and you'll have that answer ready.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking out those stories that make you feel truly alive.
Wow, what a great journey. I don't know about you, but A Master of Djinn left me absolutely spellbound. The way Pete Djèlí Clark fuses myth, history, and imagination is nothing short of extraordinary. After reading this book, I'm now on my third Clark novel. They are all, let me tell you, an extraordinary world building and indulgent read. I highly recommend this author. And Suehyla and El-Attar's narration, pure magic. It felt like I was right there in the streets of Cairo, watching the gears of this incredible steampunk world turn. Now, before we wrap things up, let's talk a little more about steampunk, just to make sure we're all on the same page because we are a club, ride together, and we understand what we're looking at. So it's my job to make sure we do these deep dives. Now, steampunk, for those who don't know, isn't just a genre, it's a vibe, a reimagining of history through the lens of Victorian era technology powered by steam, clockwork, and endless creativity. It's what happens when you blend history and elements with speculative fiction, creating worlds where airships, automatons, and intricate gadgets coexist with magic and tradition. In The Master of Jinn, we see all this in everything from the brass automatons patrolling Cairo to the blend of ancient Egyptian lore with industrial era aesthetics. I hope you pick them up. I was bowled over at the blend between the two because it really makes the imagination imagine this vibrant Cairo that I have personally never even been to Africa, let alone Cairo. So I really felt like I saw this world come to life. And it's a style that invites us to dream of what could have been when you think about 1920s, 1910 in this era, all while challenging us to think about the intersection of progress and culture. I hope this dive into the Dead Gen universe. I guess that's what it's called, the Dead Gen universe, because this was book one of, I believe, a two-book series. I didn't go back and completely clarify that, but it is definitely a part of the series, and it has left me personally inspired, intrigued, and most importantly, excited to keep exploring, which I've done. And now, if you love this discussion or if you have thoughts, theories, or questions, drop a comment below or meet me on Discord where the club is designed to meet, or connect with me on the social pages that are linked below. And let's keep this conversation going because this is a great, great story to talk about. As always, thank you for being a part of the Goddess Garden family. Your support means the world to me, whether you're here for the first time or have been with me from the start. Until next time, keep reading, keep dreaming, and remember the magic is always closer than you think. I hope you enjoyed the book review, and I hope you found it insightful and engaging. I'm your host, creator, and designer, 11 Goddess. And let's go ahead and rate this. You know what it is. This is an absolute five, ovations all around. Um, so I don't know what else to say. I hope you get a chance to enjoy this. So in the meantime and in between our time together, let's leave with a focus on what books are out there and return with a great read. Now close this meeting with a bookmark, and until we meet again, love, light, and a little bit of mischief to you all.